This podcast may contain explicit language, mature topics, and possible spoilers. Listener discretion is advised.
Paramount Pictures announces an extraordinary entertainment experience. The Untouchables. Kevin Costner is Elliot Ness. Robert DeNiro is Al Capone. Sean Connery is Jimmy Malone. A story of good and evil, honor and betrayal, corruption and courage. The Untouchables, directed by Brian DePalma. Rated R. Opens Wednesday, June 3rd at a theater near you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Cinema Recall Podcast. Continuing yet again our DePalma December month. This episode, we are going to be discussing The Untouchables. And to help me with this is my own Al Capone, Justin Ballard of Parents Night In. Hello, Justin. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay.
How are you?
Good. Okay. Very good, Justin. So, like I mentioned before, folks, Justin is the host of Parents Night In, and you can follow him on Twitter at Parents Night In. Tell the listeners out there a little bit about your podcast. I've been watching the show with you and your wife, whose name is blanking on me right now, and I apologize.
It's okay. It's Kelly.
Kelly, it is Kelly. Okay.
Yeah. So Kelly and I love movies. We love talking about movies, so we decided to just put on a movie and have some beers or some wine and just talk about the movie as we're watching it and do, kind of a live reaction / discussion / bad joke fest. So, it's a fun show. We like to make each other laugh. Hopefully we make everyone else laugh.
I like this show too because, even as a single guy, it's still fun to listen to. So whether your relationship or single dating, it's still a fun show. They both have a great comedy time with each other. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like Burns and Allen, but reviewing movies. I love it. It's great stuff. One thing too, Justin, was there like one movie that you both were watching and were like, hey, let's do a podcast? Do you remember what that movie was?
I don't remember when we decided to do it. I think we both had sort of floated the idea of it. I had been listening to a lot of like Red Letter Media stuff and just listening to them and the kind of fun that they were having doing their film commentaries. I was like, I should do something like that. And then and we kind of decided to make it a podcast, but with some video enhancements. So if you go on YouTube, you can watch it with stills and clips from the movie and, some like visual gags and that kind of thing.
Very cool. And I see that Twitter name right there. That is Parents Night In on Twitter.
It's actually just Parents Night on Twitter.
Parents Night. I apologize. So find that there at Parents Night. And Justin himself, he can be found on Twitter at enuffa.com with the E, the D, and the C capitalized.
Yeah, and that's my affiliated website where I cover movies and wrestling and music and all that kind of stuff.
Very cool. Now, today's movie we are going to be talking about The Untouchables, starring Sean Connery, Kevin Costner, Andy Garcia, Patricia Clarkson, a few others in the movie. But before we talk about this movie, Justin, how familiar are you with other Brian DePalma features?
I've seen a bunch of his stuff. I think the earliest one I've seen is probably Phantom of the Paradise.
Nice.
But I've seen Carrie, I've seen Blowout, Scarface, Casualties of War, Raising Cain, Mission Impossible, Snake Eyes, and I'm pretty sure I saw Mission to Mars.
Oh, really?
That was around the time where everybody was making like Mars films. I think that was the one that I saw.
Yeah,
that and like Red Planet and something else.
Red Planet with Val Kilmer and Carrie-Anne Moss, I think.
Yeah. So it was Mission to Mars that I saw.
Okay, Mission to Mars. Okay, I just remember one
Connie
about.
Nielsen.
Oh, that's right. I have not seen Mission to Mars. I'm very kind of curious about it just because it is DePalma. Because I remember seeing trailers for that movie and thinking that, well, this looks really just basic. But now looking back, like, oh, that's a DePalma feature? Huh. I'm a little bit curious about that one. All right. Well, besides The Untouchables we're going to be talking about, did you have like another favorite one or one that?
I'm actually a big fan of the first Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, it's just like a really solid, smart action movie. It's kind of like, I remember thinking when it came out, it was like, this is what James Bond movies should be, sort of.
Sure.
because they had, James Bond had kind of dumbed down a little bit at that point, maybe.
Yeah.
But no, I really enjoyed it. I thought Tom Cruise was great as that type of character, like the really smart action hero.
It's so weird going from like Mission Impossible 1, which is kind of like a taut spy thriller, to Mission Impossible 2, because that was directed by John Woo.
Yeah, I hated that one actually.
And I like John Woo movies, and so just his style put into that was just not working at all. But I think the franchise has gotten better as it goes on.
Yeah, I loved the fourth one especially.
Oh yeah, Ghost Protocol.
Yeah, that one was great.
That was awesome as well. All right, folks, we're going to get into our discussion about the Untouchables, but we got to take some time to play some ad spots, and so we'll be back to do that. Enjoy.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Welcome to the podcast that wouldn't die. I'm your host, Kevin. With me, as always, is Aaron.
What up, what up?
Each week, we'll explore the classics of the horror and sci-fi genre with a little comedic twist.
We will ask those important questions like, why don't they get out of the haunted house the first time they see the ghost or the demon?
Why do people feel like, hey, there's been a spooky disappearance, but I'm going to investigate myself, even though I have no investigative background?
Or, why didn't I realize I was dead the whole time?
These important questions and many others we will get to the bottom of. So check us out each week at the podcast that wouldn't die.
Be there or be square.
This podcast is a proud member of the Lamb Podcasting Network. Find the network at largeassmovieblogs.com.
All right, folks, you just heard some ad spots. Now, just really briefly, though, The Untouchables, as I mentioned before, stars Kevin Costner, Robert De Niro, Andy Garcia, Sean Connery, Patricia Clarkson, and it's all about Elliot Ness and his team of road cops and accountants and other ex-cops right there who are joined a force to take down Al Capone. This is set in the time of Prohibition, where alcohol is legal, and a whole bunch of gangsters have sprung up, but the biggest one is Al Capone, and so Elliot Ness and his team are there to find him and arrest him, put him to justice for all the crimes he's done. Now, really quickly, Justin, how many times have you seen this movie before, or is this your first time?
No, I've seen it a lot. That's probably at least a dozen times, I would say.
Okay. How old were you when you first saw it?
I actually saw it in the theater when I was 11, I guess. My parents had seen it and thought I would really like it for some reason. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess just because of the sort of action movie element of it. And I loved it when I saw it. And then, I got a VHS copy of it a couple years later, and I kind of wore it out watching it so much.
Very nice. Was it like the whole cops and gangsters angle that you liked the most about it, or what was the...
Yeah, I mean, it was that, but it was also, sort of a serious gangster drama, even though it's very Hollywood and kind of trumped up. But I think at the time it was one of the first really serious movies that I got into, so it was almost like a badge of honor in that way.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, having your parents show you, the first like R-rated film has got to be a huge thing. I'm trying to remember the first R-rated film I saw. I don't know for sure the first one, but I know like one of the last ones we all watched as a family was The War of the Roses. I remember seeing that movie as a family because I was just, I think, going into my last year of high school, and that was sort of like a celebration with the family. So I do remember that. But I also do remember watching this one with my family as well. And I kind of find it funny, too, that my dad never really showed my eyes over any of the violent scenes of this movie. I don't know exactly what he was trying to like teach me with this one, but I do remember watching this as a kid and enjoying it. And out of all DePalma features, this is one that I have not revisited much. And when I went back to rewatch the movie, it didn't seem like that much of a DePalma feature. I mean, it has a few of his visual trademarks, but not a lot. So basically, I just haven't watched it until recently, and it was good. I think I like the performances of this one very much. Going back to this one, the storyline was just kind of like average for me this time. I don't know what it was, but it was just not as exciting as I thought it would be. I think Robert De Niro does a great job with this. I also think Sean Connery is good. But I kind of want to just dive into each of the characters a little bit, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Talk about this one here. We're going to start right here with the star of the picture, Kevin Costner. Now, this came out probably like around the same time as like Bull Durham, because I do know that both movies came out the same year. And Bull Durham, for listeners out there that don't know, that was a huge hit for Kevin Costner. That was like a movie that kind of put him on the map, and a lot of studios were looking at, people to cast for this movie. And I have a feeling too that he probably wasn't the first one ideally cast for this movie, but I thought he did fine with his role in this. Do you have any thoughts about Kevin Costner as Elliot Ness?
Yeah, I think this was the first thing I ever saw him in.
Sure.
And he just had that sort of solid kind of vanilla good guy thing. It's like super clean baby face, to use the wrestling term. Where he's like the Clark Kent kind of character.
All American good boy, wants to do right.
But his whole arc is, and his relationship with the Sean Connery character is, you have to get your hands dirty if you want to actually fight this war against organized crime. So it's a lot of his characters just dealing with trying to balance his sort of moral stubbornness, I guess, with actually taking it to the streets and getting dirty with fighting crime.
Yeah, because he has that one conversation with Sean Connery's character, who plays Jim Malone, and he says to him, they're at church, and Malone says to him,
because they won't give up the fight until one of you is dead. I want to get Capone. I don't know how to get him. Want to get Capone? Here's how you get him. He pulls a knife, you pull a gun. He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue. That's the Chicago way. And that's how you get Capone.
See, you always got to just keep up at the ante with him.
Whole theme of escalation.
Yeah. And you're right, too, about Ness kind of being like the good Boy Scout, and there's even a scene because not only does he have to fight Al Capone and his other cohorts, he also has to fight other people in his own precinct.
Yeah, they don't respect him because he's like the new guy, and they're all used to sort of being pragmatists where, we're stopping crime any way that we can, and he's coming in with, no, you have to do it the right way, you have to do it by the book.
And
so he kind of draws their ire as well.
Yeah, and he also wants them to lead by example, too. It's like, hey, I don't care if you had drinks before the past, but from now on, you can't have any drinks whatsoever.
Right.
So, all right. Basically, he does have that arc where he starts to adopt to be a little bit more violent when it comes to criminals, and I kind of like that.
And he blackmails the judge at the end in order to get the conviction.
Because he says, because he put him on.
Your name is in the ledger.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he uses the same type of tactics that he learned from Malone.
Right.
Speaking about Malone there, that's kind of a good segue to talk about Sean Connery's character as Malone in this movie. I think he's still a cop. That's the part that confuses me, because when Ness is on the pier and he meets Malone for the first time, and Malone's kind of busting him for littering, and that's when he starts to get the idea to put a team together. Was Malone actually a cop or a security guard? I wasn't quite sure.
No, he was a beat cop at that point.
He was just a beat cop. Okay.
Yeah, I think he had been maybe busted down to that because he didn't get along with his superiors or something.
That's
about
wrong
right. About that.
No, I think he was a little bit much more higher up in the ranks of police in Kingdom. I don't know the set terminology about the ranks of police. I'm not a police officer. I apologize immensely. But yes, he used to be much more higher police officer rank, and he got brought down lower. And I well, first of all, I mean, it is Sean Connery, so you imagine you want to put a team together with badasses. You want to put them on your team. I wasn't quite sure why Ness thought he would have been a right person, maybe because there was no nonsense.
I think he knew it. He knew a lot. He had just a lot of inside information and years of experience, and like I think Ness kind of respected his sort of his passion for it, I guess, and the fact that he was so pragmatic about it.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
So he was like, I should listen to this guy.
Oh. And as we learned later on during the course of the movie, Malone does have some very much, I wouldn't say, they might be seen problematic nowadays, but back in the 30s, he had some very direct methods on how to get confessions of people and how to get criminals to work better. There is a great sequence after the Untouchables have, I guess, got the loot back from Gates trying to smuggle booze into Chicago. Mm-hmm. And there is I think it was Ness shoots one guy out the window.
Yep.
And then they bring this other guy in to talk. And the other guy doesn't really know that his friend is dead.
Right.
So Malone picks up the guy, makes it look like he's still alive, and tells, the guy inside to talk. And he's not going to talk, and then he blows the other dude away. And then right away, the dude that Ness and his friends had captured was like, okay, I'll talk. Just going really off the rails right there. And I got to say, too, I mean, and I mentioned this at the beginning of the show, and I mentioned this again now, there are going to be like some spoilers in here. But when...
You've had 33 years to watch it.
That's true. But when Malone does get shot... Man, that guy is a badass. He still works hard.
He gets pumped full of bullets.
He's pumped full of bullets too, but he wants to get that note that the treasury had.
Yep.
And he was not going to give up until Ness had that in his hand. And that was like his last dying breath was to get that there. And I was like, man, I don't want to look at your balls, but they must be huge. Because damn, I was just like, I mean, if I get paper cut, I'm like crying for like I'm gonna die. I mean, this guy's got like 10,000 bullets in him, and he's still like, I still do this, drink my whiskey, drink my smoke. I'm not dead yet until I say I'm dead. God damn it! Any other thoughts on the late Sean Connery?
Yeah, I think it's timely that we're talking about this.
I
think it's probably my favorite of his performances. It's the one that won him an Oscar, actually.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he won an Oscar for it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like a prototypical Sean Connery role. I wonder if I imagine he was probably their first choice when they wrote it.
Oh, sure.
Because it's like he's just so perfect for it. It's like it's Sean Connery turned up to 10. Essentially, that character.
Oh yeah, definitely. Gee.
It actually inspired my first Sean Connery impression as a kid. Oh, I used to make my parents laugh. I would say the line after they do like a raid and somebody's like, let me see your warrant, and he like kicks the guy in the nuts or something. And he just goes, how do you think he feels now? Better or worse?
That was good. That was really good, man. I love that. Kind of move on a little bit to some of the other Untouchables with this one. We have Andy Garcia as George Stone, and he is a new cop training at the precinct. When they first went to that place, I thought they were trying to find a criminal.
Oh yeah,
like some sort of like maybe not a seasoned criminal, but like a criminal who just sort of just getting out, and someone that may know other people in Capone's army. But he was actually a cop, and I kind of like the way how they, I guess not interrogate him, but how they get him into the team.
His interview
in a way there too.
Yeah, because they talk to one guy who's like, super straight arrow by the book, and he's like, no, I don't want to hear that. Just tell me like why do you want to be a cop?
Yeah.
And the guy doesn't have like a real answer, so he's like, all right, get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And then Andy Garcia shows up, and he starts to do the same thing, and he's like, no, just tell me what you think.
Yeah.
and Andy Garcia finally has like a human answer, and then he kind of gives him shit about his Italian heritage, and Andy Garcia pushes back, and he's like, okay, he's the guy.
Yeah, I like this guy. Yeah, that was great too. Like, yeah,
He's got spirit.
Mm-hmm. I remember that too. Sean Connery makes fun of his heritage, and Andy Garcia makes fun of his, and they kind of go back and forth there.
All right. Stand easy, son. I want to ask you something. Why do you want to join the force?
To protect and to protect and serve. To protect and
Please don't search for the yearbook answer, huh? Just tell me what you think.
what I think.
Yeah.
You could help with the force.
You can help.
Force.
Huh?
With crime.
Thank you. There goes the next chief of police.
This kid's a prodigy.
Why do you want to join the force?
Protect the property and citizenry of the
Oh,
city.
please don't waste my time with that bullshit. Where are you from, Stone?
From the south side.
Stone. George Stone. That's your name? What's your real name?
That is my real name.
Nah. What was it before you changed it?
Giuseppe Petri.
Jeez, I knew it. That's all you need, one thieving wop on the team.
What's that you say?
I said that you're a lying member of a no-good race.
It's much better than you stinking Irish pig.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah, I like him too.
You just joined the Treasury Department, son.
And then the most kind of oddball out of this whole group is Charles Martin Smith as Oscar, who is the accountant, and he's the one that actually finds a way of how they're going to bust Al Capone. They're going to bust him for tax evasion.
Right.
And I found that to be just kind of great too. This, when I see this movie, and I'm always going to say this, I was really hoping that Rick Moranis was in this.
He might have been a little too goofy.
Oh,
that character.
But have you seen that movie, My Blue Heaven?
Yeah, I did. I mean, it was years ago.
He plays an FBI agent in that one, and even though he's a straight-laced guy in that movie, I think that he could pull off being straight-laced. I just want to see that guy, because there's a scene where Charles Martin, Agent Oscar is shooting people at the same place where they're trying to bust all the alcohol from coming into Chicago.
The raid in Canada.
Yeah, right the boys there, they're on horses, and there's a big shootout that happens with him and some of the people outside the train tracks with these cars and these Tommy guns, machine guns, and just see Rick Moranis holding that gun and just blowing people away. I don't know why. It's just that would just be, I would love it. I still want a Rick Moranis Death Wish movie, all right, but it's he's still alive, right? You can still make a movie. I want him to just be a total badass and just take on a town of Nazis or something like that.
Yeah.
So, sorry. We're not here to talk about Dream Movie on Rick Moranis here. So that kind of finished up our thoughts on the actual team Untouchables. Did you have any thoughts here about Andy Garcia or Charles Martin Smith? They're not really in the movie that much, and
this was sort of Andy Garcia's breakout, I guess. It was first thing I had seen him in, certainly. I think it's the movie that put him on the map, really. And I think it's probably my favorite of his performances too. Although he was really good in the third Godfather movie. I do see
that's the one I remember him the most.
Yeah,
was from the third Godfather, and then there's a movie with Meg Ryan called When a Man Loves a Woman.
Oh yeah, he's sort of the really cool sidekick, I guess, who doesn't say much, but he's always there for the main hero.
Sure.
Like in the train station scene, he kind of steals that scene.
Yeah.
With the baseball slide into the carriage that's coming down the stairs, and then he just takes out the guy holding the bookkeeper hostage. He gets some really nice badass moments.
Oh, very much so. It's also, but I know the movie's mainly focusing on Ness and Malone's relationship more than anything with that team. And I always thought that both Oscar and Stone were sort of like just kind of like the odd man out. I mean, Oscar is there just to give more plot points, like, hey, we can bust Al Capone for this tax thing and this tax thing, and
yeah, he's sort of a plot device almost.
Yeah, so a lot of exposition, but I thought we're fine. And then the last sort of major character in this is Robert De Niro as Al Capone, being as Robert De Niro as Robert De Niro can be. I thought his performance was fine in this.
It's not like one of his great performances, certainly, but he's like almost a comic book version of a Robert De Niro villain.
Yes.
And it's almost like he's the only one that could really have played it in this type of movie because it's so dialed up.
Do you remember the movie Dick Tracy with Warren Beatty?
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, so remember the character that Al Pacino played?
Yep.
In that movie? That's what Robert De Niro kind of reminds me.
Kind of, yeah.
But a little bit more serious, a little bit more held back in his performance. Yeah. But he's the kind of like very much likable gangster around the press. He wants to be nice to everyone. And then he just had these moments where he just kind of like flips out. There's the famous scene too at the dinner table. This is after all the booze has been taken, and he talks about everyone being involved in a team, and then he goes to one of his cohorts and beats him to death with a baseball bat.
Yeah, it's the same guy that Sean Connery kicked in the balls, I believe.
Yeah.
He was the one who screwed up and gave away all the goods to the cops.
Mm-hmm.
He's very much like a comic book gangster.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how much research was brought into.
I don't think it was meant to be a terribly true to life portrayal. I think it was. I mean, because the movie is sort of inspired by the TV show The Untouchables, anyway.
I totally forgot this was a TV show.
Yeah,
that's right.
Which I didn't know that until after I saw the movie. But so it's sort of meant to capture a little bit of that and just kind of be an over-the-top version of Al Capone.
See, was Al Capone like a main character in that TV show? I'm
not sure. I know it was mostly about Ness and his team, but it was actually a book too. I didn't know that. Written by Elliot Ness.
Oh wow.
Huh. Interesting.
Well, now that makes me more curious too to read the book.
Yeah.
About this to find out exactly what happened for real. And I think the whole the whole arc of finding Capone, this would be kind of a really good television series, because I imagine it must be hard to put your whole case of several years trying to fight corruption and gang wars. Because this happened in like the late 20s, early 30s. It's not really difficult to condense this all into a 2-hour movie. And
yeah, and I think they sort of condense it in terms of how much time it takes them as well. I think it's supposed to, they make it kind of rapid fire, like it takes place over the course of a couple months. Or that's what it feels like anyway.
Yeah, I get that.
What? They got the shipment. What? They got the whole shipment. I want that son of a bitch dead. I want him dead. I want him dead. I'm dead. What am I, alone in this world? Did I ask you what you're trying to do? Did I ask you what you're trying to do? Please. I want you to get this fuck where he breathes. I want you to find this Nancy boy, Elliot Ness. I want him dead. I want his family dead. I want his house burnt to the ground. I want to go to the middle of the night. I want to piss on his ass.
Now, as far as the look of the movie goes, I thought that was actually really kind of sweet as well. I mentioned this before on our Body Double episode that the cinematographer for this movie is the same one that's done for The Untouchables and Mission Impossible. So it's got a lot of the same look for it. That I thought that to be kind of fascinating. It's weird too because like when I first started watching this movie, it had like when I watched this on Stars and it had like a black and white image for this. I'm like, and one of my roommates was asking, "Oh, this is gonna be a black and white film?" I'm like, no, it's not gonna be black and white. But looking back, I'm thinking, well, set in the 30s, this actually
would have worked.
It would have worked well in black and white. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
DePalma should go back and do like what George Miller did with Fury Road and re-edit it in black and white.
Oh yeah,
That'd be kind of cool.
and like put some different alternative scenes in there, kind of make it a whole new part of the movie. Yeah. No.
One thing I always forget is the screenplay was by David Mamet.
That's right.
Which is pretty interesting. It's a very unusual type of movie for him because he mostly does either plays or movies that could be plays, kind of.
Yeah, because he was the writer of was that Glenn Ross?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably his most famous play, anyway.
He also wrote a horror film.
David Mamet did?
Yeah, he wrote a movie for Stuart Gordon. Stuart Gordon, who directed Reanimator and Castle Freak and From Beyond.
Really?
Yeah, it's a movie called. It's not quite a horror movie, but it's a movie called Edmund that started. Oh gosh, I'm just checking on it right now. It starred William H. Macy and Denise Richards. And
when did it come out?
I think it was I want to say 2005. It's got Julia Stiles in there too.
Interesting.
Yeah. Basically,
it's based on a play.
Yeah, it's based on a play that he did. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, let's check that out.
So it's very kind of curious. Yeah, it's a very much different movie. It's got a really kind of weird, dark ending to it, though. But yeah, I would definitely recommend checking out Edmund. It will be the fact that David Mamet kind of deals in time or crime genre. This seems to be kind of a good fit.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
For him.
Yeah. The Untouchables is so sort of supercharged, whereas usually his stuff is very grounded in kind of reality and mundane.
Yeah. And I know that originally Bob Hoskins was going to be cast as the role of Capone.
Oh, that's interesting.
For this one. And I can kind of see that, though. Bob Hoskins at the time does have the same type of look.
Yeah.
For Capone, and I can totally see how it could be that. I think they went with the right choice of DeNiro because DeNiro did do his research. I mean, the guy did read articles of Capone, and being the fact that there was not a lot of news footage of him at the time, we don't know exactly how he sounded. I thought that he did just as well as he could. I kind of want to get more into thoughts about the actual sequences of the movies. Did you actually have a favorite moment of this movie per se? Because I'd like to hear that.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely the train station scene. I think that's kind of the master. I don't want to say master shot because it's a whole scene, but that's the defining scene of the movie for me. It captures DePalma's style better than anything else.
I will agree with that. Kind of set the scene for our listeners. I'm going to do the best to try to explain this. So they're there to get the treasure, right? They're trying to.
Yeah, the bookkeeper.
The bookkeeper, treasurer, bookkeeper. And during the sequence they're kind of waiting for him, and Ness is waiting to bust him. There is a woman trying to haul this carriage up the stairs, and she's having her suitcases as well as his carriage. So she's hauling up her suitcases, then going back to grab her baby's carriage and hauling it up. And Ness is up at the top, and he's watching this woman down below, but he's also kind of watching the door and making sure that he can see the bad guys.
Yep.
And no one else is helping this woman, and so he goes to help bring this woman her carriage up the stairs. And just when Ness gets to the very top of the stairs with the carriage and the suitcases, that's when the bad guys show up. That's when things start to slow down.
Yep.
And that's when all hell sort of breaks loose. And right when the guns are being shot off, that's when the carriage drops down. I do know this was supposed to be a sort of homage or a ripoff of Battleship Potemkin.
Yes, it's inspired by that sequence.
Yeah, it's a very. But I do think that DePalma adds his own little special little touches to it to not seem like a total ripoff. And if it gets more people to watch that movie and see that sequence and compare it, hey, great. Yep. Why not?
I think in Battleship Potemkin the baby gets killed, doesn't it?
Oh, damn. Oh.
I'm pretty sure that scene has a really down ending.
No, all right. Well, thank you, DePalma, for making that a little bit more later. Shit. Damn. But yeah, what do you like? What recalls most to you about that moment?
Just how well put together it is. Like every shot, like every camera shot, but also every like bit of gunfire has like a sort of purpose, and it's the editing just sort of drives the scene along, and just, making it in slow motion really ratchets up the suspense of it. You're not sure what's going to happen to the carriage. You're not sure if Ness is going to get shot. You're not sure where George Stone is at that point until the very end. It's just a really well-crafted scene. And it ends up sort of being the climax of the movie.
That's
just
right.
Because it's like such a thrilling scene.
But it's not the trial is kind of
the trial is like the actual climax, and then the scene on the roof with Frank Nitti.
Which is, watching it again, because I remember that train sequence, and I really thought the train sequence was like the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like when I watched it, I'm like, wait a minute here, the trial comes after that part? I really thought the trial came before this.
Yeah.
And it's so weird to put like that much of an iconic moment in kind of the middle of it, because each moment after the movie just kind of feels, in comparison. I also like too that you also have like different points of views with Ness's character. I mean, he's there trying to bust these bad guys, but he sees this woman and wants to help save her. And then not only when the gun battle starts happening, he's got to like stop the bad guys, but also protect the carriage and the baby. And he's trying to fire shots to make sure that they kill the bad guy,
right?
But not the actual baby itself. And I found that to be just very, very well done. Of all the DePalma moments, that's like, I agree, the most DePalma moment. I mean, DePalma works best in slow motion. If I'm wrong with that, please let me know. But I think he does really good when doing slow motion. He did the same thing like with Carrie, doing slow motion when the reveal of the bucket that lands on Carrie's head. There's a nice little, we talked about this on one of our early episodes on Dress to Kill, when the elevator doors open and we see the killer. So he works really well in slow motion. I think he just did a really great job with this one. When it comes to like action sequences, like not only this sequence, but we mentioned the sequence when they're all on horses, busting the gangsters from bringing alcohol into Chicago. That's really good. Also when they're busting up the, was that like a mailroom? There's like, they went to this building. I thought it was a post office. And they busted. Like
one of the early raids?
Yeah, one of the early raids. Was that a post office?
I forget what it was, but yeah, it was some kind of front.
Yeah, okay.
They were actually smuggling alcohol.
Oh.
Yeah, the train station sequence and his sort of style of action scene was just very different for the 80s, which was known for like just sort of mindless shootouts that are happening like rapid fire, and people are just throwing bullets away, trying to shoot at each other, and no one's hitting anything. Whereas this was like a much more precise kind of action sequence, in the same way that later Tarantino kind of adopted.
That too, and also I want to say that the Wachowskis kind of adopted as well, because I don't know if you remember the movie Bound.
I never actually saw that.
There is a great, there's like we call it here like a Mexican standoff between the gangsters and other characters in the movie, and the same type of like editing tricks that were kind of used in Untouchables were also used in Bound, which later evolved to the bullet time sequence that was used in The Matrix.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that each movie was influenced by the next one, and that one's influenced by the other one. Like I said, I like all the action sequences in this movie. I think the movie just kind of slows down when it gets to be them kind of like researching about Capone. We get the arc with Elliot Ness just becoming a little bit more ruthless.
Yep.
And how to like stop Capone, because he stops being the good Boy Scout and does everything by the book. Because that's the only reason why that Capone was able to get captured, because Ness had to think somewhat like a criminal,
right,
to get him captured.
And he had to prosecute him for something like very minor compared to the crime, the violent crimes that he was involved in.
Yeah. So and I thought all that stuff was great, but most of the time I'm watching this, it's just him talking with Malone's character, and Malone says some badass thing. I just found it just to be a little bit underwhelming. I know that both Ness and Malone, they are being, how do I put the words here right? They're being the good guys, the straight-laced guys. I think that DeNiro is the only one in this movie that is actually putting together like an operatic performance. I'm not saying that Sean Connery wasn't good as Malone, but even he felt subdued. It kind of like both Sean Connery and Costner were taking this material as like a serious biopic. And De Niro's like, no way, this is just like a fun gangster movies from the 30s. I'm gonna just totally ham it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's just chewing scenery.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Capone as written in this movie is written as like the general public thinks of him. It's because he has such a huge reputation as like one of the most famous gangsters of all time. So it's his character's got to be larger than life for that reason.
Yeah, because he wants to be this best and bigger than Arthur B. And if anyone tries to ruin that facade, then that's when it's going to get violent, because Al Capone just wants to be the center of attention. If Al Capone came out nowadays, he would have his own Instagram channel, his own YouTube show, and all his shows would be like how the government's against him, and no one seems to understand, and hell, he could run for office. I'm pretty sure.
He probably would.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Do you have any other thoughts about the Untouchables before we get things wrapped up here? Because I don't really have any more.
Yeah, it's almost like I feel like it's sort of influential in another way for someone like Tarantino, where he does the sort of revisionist history type movie. Not quite to that level of, say, Inglourious Bastards, where the war ends in this spectacular, violent fashion. But in terms of just sort of giving you a larger-than-life version of these historical characters and putting them in this weird kind of over-the-top action movie. And they, his Capone's conviction is like dramatic, and there's the big showdown on the roof with Nitti, and like I'm pretty sure Frank Nitti didn't die that way in real life.
Yeah.
But it's almost influential in that way, where they're revising history to make it more exciting.
I agree with that. I can see the whole revisionist of it and changing certain things. I really don't think that when Al Capone was busted for tax evasion that he had a freak out and started punching people. I don't know. Maybe he did.
I don't think that happened.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't think there was that whole thing with the juries getting swapped either, because one of them was paid off. I don't think that actually happened.
Yeah.
But, it made for a dramatic sort of courtroom climax.
Very much so. I also thought, besides the whole train sequence in the movie, I found the moment when Agent Oscar gets killed was a little bit of a surprise as well, because he goes onto the elevator.
Yeah.
Just with the same bad guy who's been taunting Elliot Ness and his family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nitti somehow found the time to hang him from the wall and write the word touchable, I think it was, in Oscar's blood.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Risky.
That's some talent right there.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tarantino, because you mentioned this earlier with the revisionist history, the music of Untouchables was by Ennio Morricone.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's a great score, too.
Who listeners don't know, he did the music for The Hateful Eight, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
Yep.
Whole bunch of other iconic.
Most of the famous spaghetti westerns.
Because most of Brian DePalma's features have been scored by Pino Donaggio. I messed up that name. I know I am. I apologize. But no, I thought that Ennio did a fine job. There's a moment of the score that happens when you first kind of meet Al Capone, when a butler or a waiter is like coming up to Al Capone's hotel room, and it's got like this 1930s, but with like an 80s hip hop dance beat to it.
I think I know what part you mean. And it's got like this sort of really decadent feel to it.
It just had this
It's
like
supposed to be, Capone's obscene wealth and swanky lifestyle.
It's totally reminds me of like Putting on the Ritz, just like a very swanky dance beat right there. Like, oh, this is a Neil McCartney just doing a little dance beat. Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, you do your own thing there. I do know this movie was probably the biggest box office hit for Brian DePalma at the time. His only other big hit had to be, what is he now?
Carrie?
Yeah, Carrie right there. So, because this movie was made for $25 million, and it made $106 million. So, definitely made a profit for him. This would probably be his last profitable picture after this. Except for Mission Impossible. Yeah, that's true. Mission Impossible. Forgot about that one. That was another big hit for DePalma. Had like this weird kind of like ups and valleys with his career. I think after
he did that movie Raising Cain, which I was really excited about when it came out, and it was terrible.
If you get a chance to watch the recut version.
Oh, there's a better version?
There's a better version of that movie. I just watched it online.
Oh.
Because I knew that Arrow Video came out with the special director's cut version.
I didn't know that.
Of Raising Cain. So I looked it up online, and apparently there was another person who took the footage of Raising Cain and remixed the order of it. Huh. And Brian DePalma saw that and said, well, that's going to be my new director's cut. And you can watch that. It's on Vimeo. But if you just search Raising Cain director's cut, go to videos. It's like one of the Vimeo videos there. It's actually really good. It's called Raising Cain Recut. Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
It makes it so much better. And I totally agree with you. I really like John Lithgow's performance in the movie.
Yeah.
But the rest of it was kind of a mess. But once I saw that recut version, it was just, wow, it just made that thing so much better.
That's cool. Yeah, I'll check that out. I saw that in the theater with my mom, and about halfway through, she was like, do you want to leave? And I was like, no, I want to see the whole thing. I don't walk out of movies. I want to watch the whole thing. But it was so bad that she wanted to walk out halfway through.
I did like a bonus review of that movie for our Patreon listeners. So go check that out, listeners, if you want to hear my discussion about the theatrical cut and the director's cut. And I was reading interviews about the movie saying that it was supposed to be a satire.
Oh, really?
On the whole thriller genre. I'm like, if that was, I just totally missed it. And
I did too.
I totally apologize to Palma. I normally like your stuff. I liked it when you have John Lithgow in movies, and I thought he was great, but
yeah, he makes a good creep.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, he was great in Blowout.
Oh, he's incredible in Blowout. Yeah. Are you kidding me? Well, did you have any sort of like final score for The Untouchables?
If I were to rate it on the 4-star scale,
out of 5.
Out of 5. I'd go like probably 4.5. It holds up for me.
Fair enough there. I think for me, I'm going to rate it a little bit lower, but not that much lower. I still think it's an incredible movie there. I'm probably going to rate it about 3.5.
Okay.
I think it's a fine movie. When I rewatched it this time, the very beginning of the movie, there is a guy who brings a package into a bar, and the little girl grabs the package and says, "Mister, you forgot your package," and the bar explodes.
Yeah.
That little girl, I always thought that was Kirsten Dunst.
Oh, no.
But it wasn't, because Kirsten Dunst was born in 1982, and there's no way that she could play a 9-year-old girl.
Yeah.
But I thought that was kind of a shocking way to open the movie. In fact, I kind of wish the movie would have opened with that sequence and then go to the titles.
Yeah.
Just kind of show
because then you're not sure what's happening, and then you're like, what the hell did I just see? And then you get the titles, and then the little explanation about it's 1930.
Yeah.
Etc. Yeah, that could work.
But that's me. Maybe will that happen in Brian DePalma's black and white version of the movie? I don't know yet. But that's gonna. I think I said 3.5, and you said 4.
I'll go 4. Yeah.
4. Okay, 3.5. So that brings our total to solid, I think 4.5 for The Untouchables. Yeah, I think so. I think, like I said before, it's a good movie. I think you can definitely watch it. The cinematographer's name that I didn't mention earlier, I apologize, Stephen H. Burham. Like I said, he did cinematography for a lot of DePalma features, Carlito's Way, Mission Impossible, Body Double, this one, a few others.
Apocalypse Now is one of them.
Oh, Apocalypse Now. Oh, yeah. So he's very much an achieved cinematographer. Yep. That's it right now. One more question, too, about The Untouchables. Where did you watch this?
Originally?
No. We watched it for this podcast. Where did you watch it? Did you watch it on DVD or?
Yeah, DVD.
Was your DVD in like kind of a 2:3 aspect ratio, or is it 1:8:5? Did it fill the whole screen, or was there like a black bars? Was there?
No, it had the black bars.
So apparently I watched this on Stars because I had a free trial to watch movies on Stars.
Yeah.
And so I watched it on Stars. It wasn't the right aspect ratio. It kind of filled up the whole TV, and so so I knew I was not watching it in the correct way. So
yeah, there's a lot of that happening lately. I've seen that on Amazon a lot too. When you stream a movie there, it's especially older movies. They present them in the wrong aspect ratio. That drives me nuts.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm sure I did, and I probably would like this movie a little bit more if it was done in the actual way it was supposed to be framed. So that's fair. That's gonna be. So I may have to change my score from like being a 3.5 to being about a 4, just because I was not watching it in the correct way.
You're missing half of it.
Yeah. I got a free trial, okay? Movies are expensive, folks, all right? I can't really afford to watch movies in the correct way. And I really should have saw this on 35mm. I should have, broken into a theater, kidnapped projectionists, and say, you're going to show me this movie. It's going to be the next National Lampoon's Vacation about a family that wants to see a movie on 35mm for their family, and have to break into a movie theater to do so. We will be back soon, all right? Take care. Oh, we will be back again because we're going to have on Matt and Ashley, but I think mostly just Matt, to talk about the other Brian DePalma feature, Sisters. So be sure to listen to that episode as well. Anyways, folks, I'm the Vern. I'll see you all later.
And I was down in Chicago, with my boards and figuring out how we're going to shoot all this stuff. Meanwhile, I'm thinking we've got this movie, except to me, it's like some kind of sophisticated English playhouse theater. We need an American gangster actor.
What draws my admiration? What is that which gives me joy?
Dames.
Baseball.
Bobby takes a long time to decide to do things. You go out to dinner with him, you talk about the script, and it took many, many weeks until he finally said, yeah, I think that I can make this work. Except the last thing Bobby said to me was, it's going to be expensive, and it was extremely expensive. Well, it's a little different with the movie stars that you've kind of discovered. The thing about Bobby is I've known him, since the mid-'60s. On The Untouchables, Bobby was not learning his lines. And I just went with him to when he was putting his makeup on, and I would rehearse these lines over and over again with him until he knew them. Plus, he had to put on some weight to play Al Capone, and he had his hair shaved back. He wore the kind of silk underwear that Al Capone wore. You never saw it, but he had it on.